we're going to talk about statement charm bracelets. And the one I'm doing today is for fall, but it could be for any time. And I know a lot of people think it was a charm bracelet, you just get a nice curved chain or whatever, or, Cuban linked chain, and then you just hang stuff from it however looks good to you. And that's not wrong. But what if you want to make one that was several layers deep? Because some people do. How would you go about that? Well, I've got a way to show you, and I'll demo it a little bit, and then you can take from there. And then I'm going to show you on a piece of Betsy Johnson jewelry, another way that you can do it, and then I'm going to show you some beautiful statement charm bracelets that are done in strandage by my friend Mucky from Mucky Designs at Etsy. These are incredible, and you're going to love them. So anyway, let's get started and talk about this one down here. So Lauren, if you want to kind of shift off of me and onto the bracelet, let's see if we can get it in the front. There we go. I put a piece of typewriter paper under it. Okay, so you can see it. So anyway, if you guys saw the last video on the Autumn Secrets Leaves Treasures, Treasures necklace, you'll recognize that this has a similar feel to it. The Autumn Treasures necklace was only 2 layers. The first one was a thicker chain, and the bottom went right under it, just skirted right under it, and it was thin.
And it had the leaves.
Yeah, the thicker chain on top had the leaves, these very ones, and then the skinny little chain had these pieces, type pieces on it. Usually, I think there were only like 3 little check beads.
Yeah.
And they hung in a little cluster, and they came every so often. And they hung just under that, and it added a lot of dimension to the project. Well, let me tell you what. This is fussy. I'm not saying it's hard. It isn't. But it's fussy because these are the bracelet bars I use. We have them at the website. And if you know vintage jewelry, you've seen things like this. I carry a lot of things at bisouboutiques.com that are made like vintage jewelry or made from the actual dies that made the old vintage jewelry. That's what these are. They're made faithfully the same as they were in the 40s and 50s. How about that? And they're made in the United States, which is nice too. But anyway, these have 7 hanging holes here. Strandage. And normally that's for, a strandage piece. It could be a necklace, in which case it come way out. Or it could be like this for a charm bracelet. Or you could make earrings. Those would be some crazy earrings, but that's another idea for you. Could make some really good looking ones. But anyway, we're doing this today. So how in the world do you do that? Well, that's the thing that's fussy. And to be honest with you, the one I'm going to make now, or try to set it up, is not going to have these little skinny ditzy chains. They're cute. They're all scrap chain. They're things that I've had for a long time, and they're real pretty and cute, but they are a bear to work with because they want to get all twisted up. So even like when I want to put this on, I got to like hang it first and kind of let it go in place, and then pull it over and then play with it, after I get it on. But this will give you an idea of what it would look like when it's on. And comes around the back. So, that's just a cool, it's kind of like, reminds me of festival jewelry. When I was hanging out at 1928 a lot, they had a line of what you might call festival jewelry. It was called TRU, and it was made like this. Strandage necklaces, strandage bracelets, but they didn't hang stuff off. They just used different kinds of chain. And actually, some of this chain actually came from over there. But this one, I'm going to do a little different. So let me tell you about how I did it. And then from there, you make it however you want, because it's going to be up to you. So here's how I do it. Now, first what I did is yesterday, I went ahead and I cut all my pieces. So you need 7 pieces of chain to go in here. So I thought, look at that. I don't want you in here now. So I start out usually by putting the heavier ones on the bottom. So it'll go like this. Let me just show you real quick. I have one that's got one piece. I guess not. I thought I had a piece that had, yep, I do. Okay, this piece, this came off of a piece of busted jewelry that I got from Mr. Burney a long time ago, over at 1928. So I'll put this one on the bottom, okay, because you want the heavier ones on the bottom, okay? And then I would probably put this one next, which is Copper Coat Rollo, and it might be too long. These are supposed to be 6.5 inches, but I can tell you already that one's too long, so I'm going to have to cut a little bit off. And then I will probably put the next beaded chain.
And that's a heavier Rollo too. It's a bigger Rollo.
Yeah, it's about 5 millimeter. If you guys like that kind of chain, I have beaucoup of it, gobs. And my plater doesn't want me to send it anymore because a lot of it's cut in lengths, and he doesn't like that. So he won't do it for me anymore, so they're going to stay copper coat.
I like the copper.
Yeah, I do too. Plus, you can torch it, you can color it, you can patina it. It will take patina. It's great.
It works nicely with the gingerbread.
Right. Copper coat chain, not to get off the subject too much, but copper coat chain is steel. And then it has a copper coat on top of it, and that keeps the steel from breaking out and rust. It protects it and keeps it that way.
It keeps it strong.
Yes. Well, steel is way stronger than brass. You know, I used to always say, oh, no, this steel's crap, don't ever get it. No, that's not true. Steel is probably your better choice. I learned this from Mr. Burney. But you got to copper coat it right. Now, this has a really good copper coating on it because they did it over there when they used to have plating. And they had they were one of the best platers in LA at the time. So this is done right, and I have a lot of it. So what they would do on top of the copper coat, then they would put their color. If it's going to be silver, if it's going to be gold tone, if it's going to be whatever, would go over that. Okay. Because the copper's a conductor of some kind. And it would slurp up the color and keep it on there. It'll be a very, very strong finish, and you don't see it going bad very often. And to be honest with you, this chain, I know for a fact, was made in the 50s. So that's over 70 years old.
And it still looks beautiful.
And it looks like the day they made it.
Yeah, it does. It looks brand new.
I have some that I bought over in Providence years ago. Shelley and I took a trip, I think, in early 2000s and went to Providence, and we did some of the warehouses over there, and we bought some big buddy rolls, which is like just big. I can't even tell you how many foot chains on them. Figaro chain and scroll chain and stuff like that. And it was copper coat. And they said, this is actually made in Hong Kong. Do you mind? I says, do you think it has lead in it? And she says, well, there's no reason for it to, because it's not made from anything that would have lead. And I never had any reaction to it. So anyway, she said, this is copper coat. So the copper coat seals everything out from your skin anyway. And we always marvel at it because it looks exactly like it did.
Yeah, I would never guess that's from the 50s.
No,
it looks like you just ordered it this past week.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So anyway, I would do it this way, and then I would use, maybe I'll put this little double curve in here. It's wanting to go crookedy on me. I will put that there for the next one. And then I will probably do this one because it's a good accent. Now we're getting into the fussy pieces. The fussy pieces go on top. This is a little piece of scrap chain. Once again, I go over at 1920, I'm not sure of it. This piece I buy. This is gingerbread chain, and I actually buy this from the site. So it's a snip of what we had. It sells real quick, so we don't have any right now. I have to get it again. So I'll put that. And then I found this, and it's like very dark brass ox. And this is Korean chain.
So when you talk about doing the fussy ones up top, are those the ones that you're mainly hanging from?
No, I'll be hanging from these.
From the bottom 3 heavy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I just thought of something. Doing it this way might be a little difficult because it might be hard to get it to hang straight on these links made like that. Rollo is your best choice if you want to hang stuff. So that really should be on the bottom, because you could just really count
There's
it
more
off.
hanging room too.
Yeah, you can count it off so nicely. So I'll put that there, and I'll put this there, and then I'll put this one. And then my little bitsy ones. All right, you do what you want. It doesn't have to be like that. It's just, that's what I would do. I would want to use some chunkier chains, because what I'm going to do is, just like with this other one, I'm not hanging stuff from all the different lengths, although you can. But I've found it's better to stay to the bottom two, or only do just the bottom one if you're going to hang stuff from it. And then it depends what you hang from there. And I'm going to show you in just a minute. Okay. I'm going to take this next, I got a little bit long. And that's another thing I like to work with, this chain. It's not soldered, that's okay, because it's done real good and tight. It doesn't come apart. I'm not worried about it. If you are, I don't tell you again, don't use it. But I like it because you can get it apart easy. You can get it apart easy if you want to get it apart, but it won't come apart unless you want it to. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one. I'm going to get rid of these because I don't want to mistake them for jump rings. And I've got my jumpy tool on. If you have a jumpy tool, you might want to use it. It'll make life a little easier for you. If you don't have one, we always have jumpy tools at Basic Boutiques. I'm a big believer in jumpy tools. So I'm going to take my strandage bars, and I'm going to put my bottom row on. So here I'm going to put this through here, and then I'm going to hang it. So I got to see how this is going. I got to get it just right. I hope these 6 mil, yeah, they're going to work. I thought for a minute, maybe they're not big enough. Okay, so I can't see quite, so I'm going to get it nice and flush. I'll probably go over that again, because when I'm doing things quick, a lot of times I can't hesitate to make sure that it's as flush as I like it to be. I like it to be so flush that you can't
find the opening.
You can hardly find it, yes. And I don't think I did that quite, so I'll have to go back over it, but I can do that. I can't wait till I get my new glasses and I can see better. These glasses don't quite cut it. So that's pretty much how that goes. So I'm just going to hook the rest of these up now, so you guys kind of see how it's going, then I'll show you how it's done at the end. So anyway, guys, here it is, the base all put together, and I'm not saying there's any right or wrong to this. Actually, now that I look at this, I wish this piece, this curved chain, had a little bit more dimension to stand up. Maybe another piece of the Rollo might have been good there, in retrospect. Then I put the little ditzy chains at the top, and I made sure that they were just the right length, so they're gonna fit pretty good. And I'm gonna show you what this is gonna look like on my wrist. Put this under. Should have had a piece of poster board. The curved chain might be a little long, might need to be shortened. I'll have to see. Anyway, it's going to look like this. When it's all hooked up. And then to the back, and I can't show you really without putting the lobster claw on it, but you just need a lobster claw. It's about the same size as this, like a 15 to 18 millimeter lobster, or you can put a bigger one, but remember, if you put a bigger one, it will make your bracelet looser because you're adding,
more length.
Yeah, length to it. Now, the way that I did this, these lengths on here, each piece, is, I got this going the wrong way, is 6.5 inches. And then with the bracelet bars being put on in the lobster class, I'll probably add like another inch. So I've got a 7.5 bracelet, which for me, for a charm bracelet, it's not bad because I don't like it like being super tight. I like it to hang down a little bit. But if you don't, I would say take a 1/4 inch off the chains when you make them and put them in there. That's all. But yeah, see, it's going to go like, I don't know if you can get that, Lauren, or not. How it's going to go once I got the lobster on it. I should have brought the lobster and put it on. Okay, so that's basically it. So it's just about right for me. Now, what you can do with these, and it's real easy, is you can take and put an extender on it. Put your lobster claw on one side, and then put your hanging hole that you might go through, and then maybe a little 2-inch extender for someone with a bigger wrist, and then a little jump ring at the end of that, so you could expand it if you wanted to, so that makes it nice. So you could just wear it like this if you like it like this, or you can put charms. And so what I had in mind to do is I was just going to use bead charms, and I had one made over here. I was just going to hang these from the bottom every so often, so it'd be kind of showy, you know. If I wanted to, I could go up here and put some, but I don't think it's going to work because these have too much dimension up here. It won't hang right. So I think I'm just going to put that at the bottom. But you know, that's very simple. You know, I have enough beads that I can do all the same bead, and then so that'll be more simple, and it may go with your outfits more. You know, if you plan the color like this one over here that I made has got just a cacophony of color, which is okay too. But maybe I want something more specific. So probably what I'll do is I will fill every little roll hole with this, or maybe every other one, and put my lobster, and I will be done. Voila! So that's one way you can make it using strainage bars. And I have some in silver, in the silver color, silverware, silver plate, and I have some in brass ox. And I'm going to get more, but there are a good many of this style, these. Good many of these. And you want to get them with the hanging hole on the end because that's the easiest to work with. So anyway, there are plenty there if you want to use
I think, don't we, I don't know if we have them in stock, but we did have some that were shorter as well, that had maybe like 3 holes or something.
I'm going to show you in a minute. But first I'm going to show you an easier way to do it. This is a vintage piece. Well, vintage for Betsy Johnson. Not super vintage like back in the 60s piece, but I've had it for a long time. Anyway, so what she did, or they did, is they took a double curd, and then they put a little pretty chain next, and then they put another pretty chain that had pearls in it. And then what they did is they just put them all at the end. They're not on strainage bars. They're all hooked to that curb at the end. The 2 pretty chains hooked to the curb at the end, and then put on with the jump at the end. So there's like no strainage bars. It's just all, you know, just bobbling, going that way. I think this one with those little tiny chains at the top, it makes it a little bit hard to wear because they want to roll. If I did this, I would put maybe some heavier beaded chain up there.
It reminds me almost like if you were hanging things from like a keychain or something, like that kind of idea.
Yeah. And I mean, I've worn this. It's not hard to wear. It's noisy, and you can see I need to polish it because it's copper plate and it's tarnished a little bit. But anyway, so that'll give you an idea. You could put it all on one connector and hook it up that way. You don't need strainage bars that way. Just put on to your wrist that way. But yeah, you know, once you go to put it on, if you do that, it's fiddly. That's I've got it on. So it's long.
Wow, that's really big for a bracelet.
Yeah, it is. But it's on
a toggle.
Yeah. Now, see me, I didn't mind because I'm one of these girls that always likes to layer stuff. So I put another couple of bracelets on there with it and let it hang down over, and I was fine with it. But other people, that would drive them nuts. You know, so it just depends. You know, if it drives you nuts or not. Now, to make this shorter, what I could do, they've got a tiny little extender in there, which I don't really need. So I could go and take that out, and then it'd be
Now see,
half an inch tighter.
I don't mind toggles for necklaces, but for a bracelet, I feel like if you put your hand, it might.
Yeah. This one's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the lobster claw would be flatter, and it wouldn't.
Well, it's not so much flatter as it's more secure. But this one's been pretty good. Never has fallen off. So that's an idea, you guys. And then here, I want to show you some of Maki's stuff. Maki. She's a sweetheart. Okay, she's made a number of these. And if you go to her Etsy, she probably still has some for sale because she still makes them. Now, what I love about Miss Mookie is that most all the parts she uses comes from our place. Most all of them.
She likes us.
Yeah. The only thing that doesn't, as you can see in this one, I don't know if you can get it all in there.
I'm gonna try to.
Let me move these off of here. Yeah.
Just give me a second here to work the camera.
Okay, on this one, you see the pink beaded beaded chains? She makes those. She gets vintage beads, and then she sits and she makes her own rosary chain to use. So, she didn't get that from me, but that's easily done. And if you don't know how to do it, why don't you leave me a remark about, hey, how do you do that, Brenda? Because why don't you show us? And let me see if there's any interest in making the rosary chain. And I'll do a video on it for you, okay? Because it's super easy, all right? And then all she does is at the ends, she puts most of her bobblies at the ends. She's even put like a guilloche enamel cameo down there. That came from our place too. Actually, originally that came from 1928.
Yeah, that looks like that's 25 by 18 size, if you're wondering.
Yeah, but the mount we had, might still have it. And then she took and she hung a few things off random. I don't know if you could see it. Just she took some little check beads and hung them here and there and everywhere.
And these we still have in stock, or we did. Those are our tulip beads.
Yeah, we usually do, have them.
Yeah, those are the
some colors. I'm pretty sure we still have them in that satin gold.
13 millimeter.
Yeah. And our satin gold is real special because it is the closest thing you are going to find anywhere to a vintage Miriam Haskell finish. I designed it in 2004 with my plater. I don't think anybody else is using it. If they are, fine, good for them, but that's how we did it. We did it. We got it to the place where we could take a real piece of Haskell, throw it down in a batch, once it was complete, and see if we could tell it apart. And we couldn't. So it's good.
I'm pretty sure we have those leaves too, or very similar. They're on Etsy, on our Etsy shop.
Well, we did.
They're glass.
I'll get more. But here's another way that she did this. And she just used chunky chain all the way up here. She didn't use any of her beaded chain. And this is our book chain that we sometimes have. We don't right now. If you would be interested in buying book chain, I can get you 5 foot. That's the smallest amount that I order, but I'll special order it for you if you want. And it does come in this color, and among others. And then she just put chunky chains in here. These are all vintage. She might have gone from scrap lot.
I feel like we have one very similar to this, or we did, like recently.
I haven't bought a gingerbread one. That I know when I would get the miscellaneous things from Mr. Burney, I would get stuff like this. And then I have another place I get it from.
That we had, but I feel like we had it.
I have another place I get it from now. It's cheaper and it's still as good. But anyway, these are mostly 1928 charms down here. These are vintage. So I would say this piece is like 85%, if not more, Bisou stuff. Or Bisou 1928, which was the line I carried. So you could do it that way too, but she's not using the little ditzy chains. She's using big chunky ones. This would be easy to get on and off. It would not fuss on you. It would just go on. The more delicate and fussy those chains are, the more you're going to have to fiddle with it. But
it tangles quite easier.
But you might like that look. There's nothing wrong with doing it. So I've given you 3 ways that you can do a multi-layer charm bracelet and make it really talk. So you could do it this way. You can do it this way, like Mookie did it, by bead and chain.
It almost looks like a wrap bracelet.
It does. It does. But this is all on strand bars, and it lays just real nice. You can see how it laid on her model real nice. Or you can make one like mine, which, what happened? I keep look like this one came unhooked. Oh, you'll have that. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. No, it was an extra one. You can make it like this, or however you want, and put a lobster. I would only hang from the bottom on this one.
You could even leave it as is, though, too, if you don't want it super
There's nothing
fussy.
wrong with it. You don't need anything on it. You could just wear it like that. I know in the line that 1928 had, the festival jewelry, they had a lot of bracelets made like this, and they didn't have any charms.
Because, like, you have the little filigree beads, and you have something that kind of still gives it a little...
Yeah. So you could do it that way. So you could do it that way. Or you could do it there like the Betsy Johnson people did.
And go
And
really
just make big old hunkin' stuff, and then 2, 3 ditzy chains and 1 heavy one at the bottom, and then hang your charms from that. There you go. And you don't have any stranded chains. She just had them hook everything into the end of the curb chain. So if you use a little bit of imagination, there's all kinds of ways that you can go. But you don't have to have just a regular little charm bracelet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people like that better. Me, I like something that's talking. And these are. And you can use up scrap chain, you can use up bits of vintage, just all kinds of stuff. So you can have fun with it. So I hope you will. And, of course, the parts come from Bisa Boutiques. When I made this was all, I have the acrylic leaves at my place. I have the check end of day beads. The chains, though, I have this one, bead and link chain, which I don't always have, and it's hard to get.
No, we do have that in stock.
We do
right
have
now.
some in brass socks.
Yeah.
A
good bit, too, I
We have
think.
the bracelet bars, too, but the other chains we don't. So, you can improvise with your own stuff there.
Yeah.
But there you go.
And we have smaller ones, too.
Yes. So I hope you enjoy trying it, changing it up. Do the best you can. I hope I made the steps plain, but basically you just need, your basic flat nose, round nose, and
you need
cutters,
jumps.
And you need jumps. I use 6 millimeter.
And ours are 21 gauge.
No,
Most
they're
of them, are they 18?
18 gauge. 18 gauge, and they are steel, which is not a bad thing. People love our jumps, and they're all copper coated, and they're plated. They're excellent. They don't go bad. So, anyways, that's how it is. So I hope you enjoyed our little presentation today. I have a feeling it went longer than I wanted it to, but we will be back next week. Okay, so it's nice that you guys stopped by. Tell your friends about us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Like if you want me to demonstrate rosary chain, tell me. If you want to know something about how I did something, ask me there. I respond. Every last person's responded to. Or just say hi. Whatever you like. Everything said in kindness is very much appreciated. Okay, we'll see you.